Hello and welcome to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes or Less Ship Review, we're going to be taking a look at the Aurora LN, also known as the Legionnaire, a combat variant, and one of many variants of the Aurora. Let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. A starter ship by the manufacturer RSI. This is the Aurora Legionnaire, which is a combat variant of the Aurora, but it's still a starter ship, and there's a multitude of things that are going to really show you that. Just starting with the exterior, it's very different. It feels like certain things should move into certain positions, but they don't. Like these wings here, I believe they were supposed to fold out sooner or later, but they just still don't. This ship is also very behind when it comes to getting its components passed as well, and just being brought up to speed with most of the newer ships today, just as many of the older ships are. Now, looking at the exterior of this ship, starting off, we do have 4 guns on this ship, and they are 4 gimbaled size 1 CF-117 Bulldogs. Now, 2 of these can be changed out for a non-gimbaled size 2 weapon, but I'm not going to discuss that currently. I'm just going to tell you what this thing does come with stock, as I do. Now, on the top here, you do have 4 size 2 Dominator 2 missiles, so that's pretty awesome. They're interestingly placed, too. I like that. They're just sitting up there like, let's go. And looking around the exterior, there's just not much else to it. Overall, the 4 guns on their base, DPS sits at about 551 overall, which is not terrible. If you were to upgrade the 2 wing guns to size 2s, even though they would be non-gimbaled at that point, which means that you'd have to do a little bit more aiming, it would add a little bit more DPS, so that's something to consider. Now, this ship does have 2 size 1 shields, so again, it outweighs some ships that are even above it in its class, like the Arrow. The Arrow only having 1 shield. I seem to be picking on that ship a lot recently, but it is what it is. Now, this ship, being a starter ship, and thankfully this starter ship actually can carry some cargo. It can carry up to 3 SCU of cargo right here on the bottom. They just lock into here and allows you to carry some cargo, which is great. That's fantastic. There's not much else to the exterior of this ship. It does have 583 quantum fuel, so it does have the ability to go quite the distance. It's about your average quantum fuel for a ship like this. Let's go ahead and hop into the interior so we can take a quick look there. Now, if you're thinking this ship's going to have a great living quarters, not really. No, you come into the ship, you have enough room for maybe a box or 2, or you can shove some boxes on your most comfortable bed pad right there. And that's pretty much all you have. You only have a bed. You can lay down and log out there, which I did and put to test. Works out great. I actually spawned right back where I was, and this was a few hours ago that I logged out. Well done. I like it. Moving into the cockpit, like I said, this is it. That's the thing. You're just stuck with this. This is what you get. So it's pretty straightforward. No component access, no coffee maker. Yeah, you might have like some screens over there or something, but let's go ahead and lay down. Let's see what happens. Let's see here. Oh, a little bit of clipping there. Okay, so you just have an access with some windows that look right at the components of your ship, so not much there. It's a very cramped space. Honestly, I'd be very claustrophobic in there. That is not comforting at all. This ship doesn't require an animation to get into, though, and it does have 2 doorways, one here and one way over here, so that's fantastic. Once you are in the ship, you can go ahead and get into the pilot seat. I do like that you can get to your bed without having to go through so many different animations. That's kind of nice. Once you're in your pilot seat, you do have 6 MFDs at your, in the front of you. So 3 on the right, 3 on the left. This ship flies all right. It's a starter ship. It has good power behind it, but it's very unstable once you get above SCM speed in atmosphere. Outside atmosphere, obviously space is space. You don't really have too many issues there, but in atmosphere, it feels very uncontrollable once you start putting some power behind it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the engines. All right, let's go ahead and take off. It's a pretty straightforward ship. It's a starter ship, right? I'm going to put the landing gear up. It's not supposed to be some, the ship that ends all, and why bother getting any other ships, right? No, this is just a great starter ship. It's got some combat ability to it, and you can carry some cargo. So honestly, if you were to upgrade from the very base Aurora, this wouldn't be a bad pick if you like sticking with the Aurora. But obviously there's going to be better options, and not too far off in price range either. So yeah, that would be the Aurora LN. Go ahead and put this thing up to speed real quick. As you can see on the right, you do have the Bulldogs here, 41 capacitor on each one, so that's a pretty good amount. And then the, like I said, Dominator 2 missiles. You can launch all 4, and there you go. Pretty neat. In this cockpit, you do have a master warning system at the top, and that would be that. Right now, I am currently above SCM, so if I tried to turn, see, I am doing everything I can, and I'd have to put the boost in to even get this thing to move around. While the Aurora LN isn't a top-of-the-line fighter, it definitely does put out quite the punch. And if I were to give this ship a review score, I'd base it on a few things, from the 4 guns that it does have, the 2 shield generators, having 4 size 2 missiles, the 583 quantum fuel, the 3 SCU cargo. It's got quite the setup, and it has a bed, which is quite awesome. Honestly, if I was to give this ship a score, it'd be a 7 out of 10. And it's only a 7 out of 10, and only because of the fact that it does need its components pass. It really, really does. Without the components pass, without the gold standard pass, I don't even know where they're going to put the components on this ship. There's just so many questions that need answering on this ship, because it feels incomplete. Just like a lot of the older ships do, because they just need a lot of love, right? We need to know, are these wings on this thing ever going to open up? Or, is the ship going to get a little bit bigger to fit the components and allow access to them? What's going to happen with this ship? And these are all questions that will be answered sooner or later. We just have to wait and see. Let me know what you think of this ship down in the comments below. Which Aurora do you have, or which one is your favorite? I'd like to know. And do you use it quite often? Is it something that you haven't touched in a long time? Talking about the ship. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little episode here of 10 minutes or less ship review. And I will see you in the next one.